the necessary requirements for critical infrastructure has absolutely changed in the sense of, it's no longer brute strength. We have
it's still
machinery.
Yeah.
No, it would
what
take.
machinery is going to lay a roof?
What do you mean? Well, I mean, eventually, but it's not impossible.
No.
Wait, no. It's not impossible for a woman to do roof laying.
Don't obfuscate.
You're
don't
acting.
obfuscate.
No. Okay, I'm not obfuscating.
Then good. Then let me go down my series here.
Okay,
and
you're
ask
acting as if it's impossible for a woman to do roof laying.
Let me go down my series. Yeah, okay, so what I'm saying to you is almost no women anywhere on planet fucking Earth can do roof work. Almost none.
Well, do you think they're physically incapable
Yes.
of doing roof work? Okay, I disagree. I think there's definitely jobs that women are less inclined to do. Rescaling a roof, I'm pretty sure we can find out multiple examples of women doing it. I think most women are not inclined to do it.
No.
Maybe they're not.
Wait.
It's not optimal for women to do it.
Did I say all, or
okay,
did I say
you said
most?
none. I literally just asked you.
I said.
Can we replay?
Yeah,
Can we go back?
replay it. My exact words were this to you. I said almost none. Is that all?
Okay.
Is almost none the word all?
No, I'm pretty sure you said none.
Nope, I said almost none.
Okay,
and
let's
the
say you
reason
said almost
I
none.
never put anything in a monolith because dumb fucking liberals will always do this. If I can point to one, and then they say hang on. Then they say they're the ones who are good faith. Well, if I could point to one, then you're all claim. So I never make the all claim. What I'm saying to you is that almost all women, almost all, not all, almost all, are incapable of doing roof work, incapable physically of doing it.
Okay, and this is where I disagree.
Good.
I think,
now we can get to the argument.
Okay, I think we could say, at least to my understanding of roof work, I'm pretty sure most women could do it. It's just not optimal. It's not ideal. It would probably be easier if a guy did it, but that doesn't mean women are incapable of doing roof work. Or almost all women are incapable.
Do men and women's body temperature regulate the same?
No, I think women run slightly colder.
They have trouble in heat.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that it's not possible for them to do roof work.
Well, wait. Not possible for most of them to work in extreme temperature conditions.
I'm sorry. Is it the same temperature all the time when it comes to your roof outside?
That makes it worse. Because of heat regulation. So
Yeah,
women have a harder time heating up and cooling down. And so what happens is when you're doing something like roof work, for instance, you'll have a black tar that's laid under you. And so even if it's 70 degrees outside, it'd be 110 degrees on the roof. It's 110 degrees outside, 140 degrees on the roof. What happens is women actually physically cannot deal with the regulation of temperature. And because of their physiology, their musculoskeletal system is so small, what ends up happening is they heat up even faster doing labor that men do, which takes them half the energy.
Yeah.
So it takes more energy for a woman to pick something up than a man.
Yeah, as I said before, it might not be optimal, but that doesn't make it impossible. So even using your same example of roof work, what would end up happening is that instead of doing it almost any time in the day or whatever, if we lived in a society of only women for whatever hypothetical reason, okay, what would have to happen? Women would have to do it in different times.
No, it's not
that it wouldn't do it.
Yeah, then show me a society where women ever fucking built anything and ever ran the fucking society. And I don't want to hear some tribal Amazonian bullshit society that we look up and we find out that nope, it's not some matriarchal society. There is no society ever in the history of of all of mankind you can point to where there was a matriarchal workforce which took care of all of the infrastructure work for the society, or even half, or even 20%, or even 10%, or even 10%.
Has there ever been a male society with no women whatsoever? No, obviously not.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, wait. We can
really?
look.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me explain.
Yeah, go explain.
So we have militaries, right? Ancient militaries who often were off doing something for 6-7 years in a foreign nation, right? With a mass unit, and I'm talking thousands, right? Sometimes tens of thousands, 20s of thousands. That's a massive society in the ancient world. All men, right? For years at a time. Yes, we can point to societies of all men regulating themselves, operating. Yes, that is.
No, because I'm here. That society would not be able to sustain itself in the long term.
They did sustain themselves in the long term.
No, I guess we have different definitions of long term, because all I'm thinking about is that there's literally no children in an all-male society.
Well, if you're talking
or women.
cross-generationally,
yeah, no, it would collapse.
But what I'm saying is that no society can even do what those men did as soldiers for 10 or 12 years who are women. They can't even do that. It's not possible for them to even do it.
I don't know. I think it's really interesting because when we look at parts of our history, even within the United States, when a shit ton of men, like the population of men, like decreased. Because they were all at war, because they all basically went out. It's not like things collapsed on themselves. Like
that's
things were
that's
still
because
ongoing.
men were still here running things.
Yeah, no, but women could still, and maybe we just fundamentally disagree here, but women could still be in those positions of power and things would still work.
No, they weren't in the positions
No, but they
of power.
could be, theoretically.
No, I don't think that they could be. So
okay, well, here we have a fundamental disagreement.
And that's what we're debating. So let's get into the debate. When all the men went off to war and women went and worked in the factories, they were putting screws in a fucking pack. They weren't designing the bombs. They weren't designing the grenades.
Do you think women aren't capable of designing bombs or grenades?
I think that they have extreme trouble with physical engineering because of their physical strength. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that the mind, I'm just really curious here.
Okay.
Here, do you think there's a one-on-one on physical strength and like your mental capabilities?
No, of course not.
Of course not, right?
Yeah, what would that have to do with anything?
Okay, that has to do with everything. Because if
Okay.
you're telling me a woman cannot design how a bomb would be because she's not physically strong enough, there is obviously like a complete lapse of
that's
reality.
Not what I said.
Yeah,
What
I asked you, is it possible for women to design bombs?
What was my answer?
You said because you're not strong enough, it would be difficult.
I said with what field? Applied what?
You didn't say applied anything.
Yes, I said applied engineering was my exact words. You're just not listening.
I am listening, and I'm pretty sure we can go back
Go
on the
back.
video. I'll start writing down all the notes.
I'll tell you what. You buy in and out for the entire studio if we back this up and I said in applied engineering.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. Where's Brian?
I don't know. I think it's really interesting because when we look at parts of our history, even within the United States, when a shit ton of men, like the population of men, like decreased. Because they were all at war, because they all basically went out. It's not like things collapsed on themselves.
We don't
like things were
that's
still
because men were still here running things.
Yeah, no, but women could still, and maybe we just fundamentally disagree here, but women could still be in those positions of power and things would still work.
No, they weren't in the positions of power.
No, but they could be, theoretically.
No, I don't think that they could be. So
okay, well, here we have a fundamental disagreement.
And that's what we're debating. So let's get into the debate. When all the men went off to war and women went and worked in the factories, they were putting screws in a fucking pack. They weren't designing the bombs. They weren't designing the grenades.
Do you think women aren't capable of designing bombs or grenades?
I think that they have extreme trouble with physical engineering because of their
engineering. You did not say physical applied engineering. You said applied. There is a difference.
What physical is applied?
No, okay. You said applied engineering.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go get the fucking in and out. You can't weasel your way out of this one.
My way. There's a very big.
That was it.
Not it because he did not say physical applied engineering. So go back 30 seconds, or go back 1 minute actually right now.
You want to go further back?
No, I want to go now further back because he said physical applied engineering, and I said
physical engineering.
No, you said physical applied engineering, and then you said, I never said that.
Listen, you're right. I said if I didn't say applied engineering, physical engineering is applied engineering.
Okay, there's a very, Okay.
Do you need to go back? Or?
It's fine.
I just need the in and out. That's what I need.
There's a very
You're not getting out of the in and out.
There's a very big difference between me having to physically build a bomb versus me engineering a bomb for physical use. Can we agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you agree women are capable of physically designing a bomb.
What I said is that women have trouble with physical engineering, which is a lot of applied engineering, yes.
Okay. I'm trying to counterphrase this.
Putting your hand on your face doesn't make you a better debater.
I know. I'm frustrated.
It's a destinyism. You got to stop. Next, you're going to do the triangle. Do the triangle hands. There you go.
Hands.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Applied engineering, or I want to even say physical applied engineering, and maybe I'm just wrong here. Maybe we can Google the definitions. There's a difference between design, right, and designing things for application and for use versus actually physically building those things.
Yeah.
Most engineering, and maybe I'm wrong here, I'm open to being wrong, is focused on design. It's not focused on me actually building those things. That's somebody else's job.
Yeah, that would be the person I'm talking about.
Okay.
You see, the person.
But we specifically were talking about design.
You can design a house, right?
Yes.
But somebody has to build the house.
Yes.
You're the designer going to build the house.
Yeah, okay.
So when I say that women have trouble with physical engineering, what I'm saying is that when they have to actually apply past the this is in my mind and build the fucking thing, where you need the engineers to actually build it, they have a big fucking struggle with that.
Okay, but that's interesting because I asked you specifically, do you think women are going to have trouble designing bombs?
And I said no. I said, but what they have trouble with is physical engineering.
Maybe my reality is being like lapsed or something with yours or something, because I thought you specifically said, yes, they're going to have trouble with it.
They do have trouble because of the physical application
But these are two separate things.
Yes, but what I'm saying to you is that, listen, if you have women who are just there in an engineering, all the men are off at war, okay? This was the point of this. All the men are off at war, and a woman designs a phenomenal bomb, like the bestest bomb ever. Doesn't matter if she can't fucking build it, or the other women around can't fucking build it if it requires the male engineers. That's the point.
Okay. Here's another thing. It does require a level of strength to build things. However, we also, and I'm saying machinery as if it's like this really complicated thing, but I'm talking about like simple like pulley or lever systems. Ever since like humanity first could build things to get out of having to use their brute physical strength, they have. And this has come to the advantage of both men and women who are capable of doing this. I'm not saying men and women are one-on-one when it comes to physical strength.
Then
I've never said that.
Then why haven't they been building shit forever?
They have.
What?
They have. Maybe not in the same way.
I'll tell you what. Name one single female invention.
I'm trying to think of what is it. There's a specific tool in agriculture.
What's it called?
I can't. Let's Google it right now.
No, let's not. Can you just name it?
No, I am gonna. Google
No.
it.
Name it. You
What?
can't name a single one.
I can't.
You gotta Google it.
Well, what is it? You're just asking me about specifically.
You said women invent shit all the time. What? What are they inventing?
They literally specifically invented like a form of agriculture that had to do with like, what is it? Oh, like rotational crop fielding, something like that. Like that's the exact terminology or something.
Can you think of a tool?
I don't think you can even bring back the like first tools to like man or woman. Like I don't think you have like the first like for the I don't think it's fair to say the first spear was like built by a man or the first hammer.
Why not?
Because we have no evidence of that. We just have evidence of humans using tools.
Yeah, we know who brewed the first beers. They were monks.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, but we're talking about very basic tools. We're talking about tools that either a man or woman can do.
Now you're obfuscating him.
No, I'm not obfuscating.
Your claim was, since the beginning of time, when we figured out the pulley and the lever system,
yes.
which I would say we probably had access to even from an evolutionary prism for like 50,000 years or more.
Sure, yeah.
Okay? If that is the case, this was not knowledge which was just limited to men. Okay? So if that is the case, where's all these women building all these fucking societies knowing how to use that pulley and that lever system?
Because society, well, let's start here. You do know that there are societies and that there were societies before. Like,
by the way, how can you be a
physical
feminist
buildings
and have to Google a single female invention?
I have female accomplishments from the top of my head, but regardless of that, separate from that.
Okay.
You do know there were societies that existed before the invention of like a concrete building, right? Mm-hmm. You do know this. Okay, cool. You know what a nomadic society is?
There were?
Yeah, there were.
Wait.
Cool.
They
awesome.
didn't have concrete buildings?
Yeah, cool. So you know what nomadic societies were?
Debate over. I concede.
You know, okay.
No, I didn't know that. Now
you didn't know nomadic
that just blew my mind.
Existed.
There was societies which existed without concrete
yes,
buildings.
I know it's very hard to believe.
Go ahead.
So you know about nomadic societies, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So you know, for like tens of thousands, if not a lot more years, the way that humans lived, for the vast majority of societies humans lived in were nomadic societies, right? Yes. The answer is yes.
So wait a second. We're not sure. Here's why. We do know that we had civilizations up to 10,000 years ago, real civilizations that had governments and writing and sophisticated individuals who ran inside those civilizations. So when you say most of these societies were nomadic,
we're talking
not
about
sure
early...
because we've lost tons and tons of information on even the societies which existed 10,000 years ago. There could have been great societies which existed before that. Not sure about that.
Okay.
Not sure I'm willing to concede that most of them, even up to 20,000 years ago, were nomadic.
Okay. at least according to most like modern anthropologists and even those beforehand, what seems to be...
When you use that tone like this, it actually doesn't help your case, but it is annoying.
Well, I want to maybe annoy a little bit because it's just my voice.
It's the Destiny tone. Why do you all do that anyway? So we look at the da and the da 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 and the da da and the da da, right?
So when we look at most societies, I'm just gonna keep doing it because you keep calling out, so it's harder to even like forget. Basically, throughout most human history, we were nomadic creatures. We would basically hunt and, travel in groups essentially. And then it usually became like once the first agricultural revolution came, where we were like, oh my God, we could actually stay in this area. We can actually grow things here. We don't have to constantly move from one place to another place to another place.
And animal husbandry and all of this. I don't know what this has to do with anything.
Because you're saying, why weren't women essentially building like these intense architectural
They've had at least
designs?
10,000 years.
10,000
years of recorded history.
The fact is, we've had societies for, tens of thousands of years that just weren't based on like having to have physical structure to function. Like that's just it. This came as
but that would be for men. And so what I'm saying is when we did, which is at least 10,000 years, we've had standing buildings with structures that had some kind of government in them, this type of thing. At least you would agree 4,000 years ago, we had great structures, cities, nations, the whole 9 yards. Up to 2,000 years ago, which is a long fucking time, 2,000 years. Where's all these fucking female inventions, civilizations? Where's all these great contributions? Where are they at?
Oh my gosh. Okay. What I want to say, or what I want to explain, is that
the ancient world stigmatized women.
Well, what happened was after the agricultural revolution, what it seems to happen is that men got more control of the agricultural supply. So they gained more level and power in society to institute essentially societal rules. So if you want to talk about like why haven't women done this or why women haven't done that? Well,
how come they couldn't just use their big brains to stop that from happening?
Post-agricultural revolution, part of the reason is men did institute these systems of power in place that benefited them.
Because they're much stronger than women?
Partially because of physical force,
No, well, wait, what was
Sorry,
the other?
No, let's go for it, yes, physical force.
Because of physical force, because they're much stronger than women.
But that doesn't mean that society was always predicated upon brute physical force. Because as we've seen before,
I think
we've
society
had nomadic
right this
societies.
second is predicated on brute physical force.
Okay. Sure, we could talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay.
So this is what we were leading into anyway.
I need to clarify.
Okay.
You're saying, this is just how it is, this is just how it be, and I'm trying to say, no, there were, tens of thousands of years before modern day civilization where we still existed in a society without brute physical force, essentially. Nomadic societies
use brute physical force all the time.
Okay, nomadic societies as a whole we're not predicated on this idea of men have all this 100% control over women. What it seemed to be is that we would hunt and gather at packs.
When you say seemed, I need you to take a stronger position than seemed. See, seemings are frustrating to me because I'm not really committing to this. I'm just saying, I think so maybe. So without using the word seem, are you willing to commit to that position?
I'm willing to commit to the fact that the way that early human society formed and was structured was basically around, nomadic principles of essentially always moving, hunting in packs as groups together, taking care of children together, basically wandering around the globe in the pursuit of
Yeah, but civilization's predicated on force. You agree with that?
Yes, I would say
Okay, and including this one.
We're talking about modern civilization, yes.
Yes. Okay, well, modern being whatever civilization is stationary.
Post-agricultural revolution.
Yeah, so that's all predicated on physical force.
Somewhat, but I'll say yes for now.
Okay, so men have the monopoly on this force?
Not anymore, but they did.
How do we not have a monopoly on force now?
what happened was essentially with the invention of modern weaponry, which became like essentially like a great equalizer, and not just modern weaponry, but also the ability, I guess we can say bombs are a type of modern weaponry.
You realize modern weaponry still requires physical strength to use.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But the point is, if I have a gun and you don't, you're fucked.
Yeah, but what if you have a gun and I have a gun?
Yeah,
Who has
but the problem
advantage?
is not everybody is strapped all the time.
Yeah, but it doesn't
No,
need
it
to
does
be.
matter.
No,
it does. 100%. It does.
I can demonstrate this for you.
Okay, it does matter. Because if I had a gun in this room right now, it would make me basically the czar of violence or whatever.
But you would be disadvantaged compared to men who had them.
Maybe.
Well, here's I can demonstrate this.
I know
for
you're
you.
gonna talk about recoil and stuff like that.
Nope, I'm just going to talk about a basic statistic. Which
Sure, go for it.
so women have their guns taken away from them in physical altercations where they're defending themselves at like 10 times the rate that men do.
Okay.
Which means that they 10 times the rate, right? But let's just say it's just double, or let's just say it's just, I don't know, half again. There's still at a disadvantage to men, even when it comes to having weapons.
Yeah, there is.
So men still,
multitude.
even if you use the weapons as being a force multiplier, men would still have the advantage.
There is a multitude of factors that are going into co-inflating in here. So, right, when it comes to women getting like their weaponry taken away from them, it could be argued that like, okay, maybe it's because women aren't necessarily like socialized to shoot per se.
Because they're not as strong as men, and so
not
so
because
I
they're
would
not
so
strong as
so
men,
here
but
no
because
look
women are taught to be very nurturing.
That's fucking
loving.
insane.